If you've ever tried to manifest and it felt forced, or you've ever tried to hit a goal and it always just seems to fall short or not go the way you want, this is the video for you. This is the channel for you. I'm going to be sharing with you how to create what you want, how to live your dreams, how to do all these things out there, having to do with like manifesting and the secret and goal setting and achieving goals. But we're going to look at it from a different frame point. And this new way of thinking of it is going to change everything for you. So, my name is Gavin Weber. Welcome. This channel is trying to help people really come into attunement with alignment with who they really are, with what's really possible, with their truth. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing a lot about my journey because I used to be that seeker, I used to always be chasing. I used to always feel like what I really wanted, what I knew was possible was just beyond my grasp. It only happened to other people. I was watching other people live their best life, and it just always seemed to be elusive and that not something that could happen for me. So in this video today, I'm going to be going through like what most people kind of do, what they're missing, and then some practices for you to change that for you. And in fact, there will be all videos about that topic from many different angles so that you can really get, so you can really live it, so you can really align with exactly what I'm talking about. So let's dive in. What do most people think about manifesting? They just think it's this kind of arbitrary thing, like in The Secret was like, oh, I want that. So how do I, attract it? Like attracts like. And how do I get that in my life? And there's a lot of things that are taught out there that are accurate, but maybe it's only part of the story, or it's actually, there's some false components of it too that mislead people, that people just feel like, oh, I can manifest some things very easily, but other things are really hard. Let's say I can find $20 walking down the road. I manifested that. But manifesting $1 million, oh, that's a lot of hard work. That's a lot different. And I'm here to really point out to you, really help you see what you've been missing so that number one, you can be happy. Okay. Number two, that you can see that you are creating your reality. And then number three, to how to invite and bring all those things that you think are out there, are separate from you, within your grasp in this moment. So with, that manifesting issue that people have is that they think what they want is not connected to them, that it's somewhere out there. That is not true. Everything that you've ever wanted or, dream about, or that goal, or the things you write down, they are in existence waiting for you in this very moment. And it's a big problem if you think it's separate from you, if that you don't feel connected to that. And that's what we're going to break and that habit and deprogram that out of you and reprogram you so you align with that. Goals. How often have you been setting goals your whole life and you might hit some here and there, but you have a history of falling short on most of your goals? I would say I've had good success with goals, but I also have more muscle memory of negative things, meaning not hitting the goals that I've wanted. And so there's a stigma attracted with goals and goal setting that most people associate with goals. That's why going in a different direction is better for you. And also a big problem is, why are you setting those goals? Why are you wanting to manifest what you want? You think that you're going to have some kind of accomplishment, some kind of feeling, some kind of wholeness that you do not feel right now. And that when that happens, when that amount of money, when that job, when that relationship, when all these things you think that you need in order to be happy, to feel good, to feel successful, to be abundant, once you have those, then you're going to think, okay, I have meaning. And I'm learning more about who I am. And that's really what the goal of life is. And I want you to know that's extremely erroneous. I chased and I chased and I chased after manifestations and goals. And I hit so many. And what you'll find is that when you hit these, it is on to the next one. It's a lot of times hollow. You get this high that you're like, okay, that's good. How long does it last? 30 seconds, 5 minutes, maybe a day, maybe even a week. But then you're on to the next one. And there's always that sense of lack that you're needing the next thing to happen. And no wonder we're not happy because so often what we think we're seeing is the separation of what we want. Therefore, we're behind, we've fallen short, we're lacking those things constantly, and we're unhappy, and we feel lonely, we feel depressed, we feel angry. I had this vision for so much of my life that I needed to be this Tony Robbins, I don't know, like this some kind of grand coach and like coach students and in like a big way. You see all these mentors out there charging all this money and stuff like that. And and I felt like there was some kind of connection that once I would do that, that's how I could like be on the map. That's how like my ego could think that I have found my way and I've fulfilled and lived my purpose. And here's a huge distinction. I had a lot of those things happen. I was on that path, but there were so many components of that were so misleading that I felt stuck, that I felt like, gosh, like this isn't what I thought it was cracked up to be. And that I have a bigger purpose and that we all do, and that there is nothing out there. So where I want to bring you back on what alignment means is that alignment is the living of your truth. Alignment is the possibility and action, and everything just comes to you naturally. There is nothing missing. There is no need. There is no lack. There is no separation. It's all within you. It is you right now. And what alignment does is brings your mind and your focus and your thoughts in congruency with that which you want to purposely, intentionally create. A lot of people call that manifesting. All it is aligning your vibration, your frequency with your thoughts. Now, kind of just going back to what I just said, where lots of people get it wrong is they think that that's what makes them them. That's the purpose of life, is to have the house, have the car, have the money. And guess what? Highly spiritual people do the same thing. I got caught in this too. Like, oh, if I'm some form of guru, if I can meditate for 10 hours, if I like my frequency is just the higher than anybody else and stuff, like it can look a lot of different ways. Ego shows up in a lot of different ways. But at the end of the day, true joy, true essence of who you are is that right now in this moment, you are good. Right now, you are experiencing love. You're experiencing an extremely high vibration. And then again, you could call it frequency without needing anything to happen. And this is where the magic happens, because all the things that you used to seek, want, need, this is the level, the alignment where all those things operate. You are reminding yourself that those are all within you right now, and you're allowing them to come to you by not chasing or pushing them away or coming from lack. It's possible to manifest in lack. And usually what happens is just an unbelievable amount of energy and focus and hours and waste of time to force something to work. People do it every day. You see all kinds of successful people. Look at the rest of their life. I've fallen into this. I spent so much time over here. The rest of, their life and my life was carnage, wasn't working well. So it's like, oh, wow, look, they're successful. Look, they hit their goal. Look, they're not happy. Look, that everything else in their life is not coherent, is not congruent with what they thought those things would bring them. They are in fear of losing it. They feel like I have to spend every waking moment to get that. And that's not what we're talking about. What we want is the unlimited mindset possibility, the knowing that anything we want is possible. But we don't need it. We don't need the frequency and the vibration to happen, and then we feel that way. What we're going to be doing on this channel is raising your frequency and vibration. And at the same time, as almost a secondary part of this, is where are we going to put our focus? How are we going to perceive our world? What's going to be our perception of what we think is happening compared to our old limiting beliefs, compared to unconscious things that we weren't aware of? And as you ascend into that higher vibration, you notice more. And it's almost cruel. I used to feel like it was cruel that it's like, gosh, it looks so easy for other people. Or look at this, like, I'd see happy people and be like, they don't even have that much, or they have a lot, or they come in all shape and sizes. But like the cruelness of it is like, it's backwards, that we think life is about getting. And in return, really what it is like giving our essence of our truth out to the world, which is another way of saying we're aligning with our purpose. We're aligning with our possibility, because what we're putting out there is the belief of what we are within here. So that's when we're chasing, we're putting out there to the universe, putting out there to quantum physics that we're lacking, that it's not within us, that we don't already have it. And guess what? That's exactly what gets manifested. When you come from that all is well, shit hits the fan, all is well. Disappointment, something didn't go the way you want, all is well. Story today. I will share, I'm in sales. I've been in that for a long time. I used to, you look at it as closing. Now I look at it as service. This weekend, I had somebody who moved forward, and this morning, what would be a polite way of saying this? They canceled, but they just did it in kind of rude way. It's like, okay, no problem. It's not what you wanted. And so on the way to the next appointment, I could have stayed in that energy of like, well, that's kind of a bummer. I spent this time and they didn't give me the reason that they, didn't want to do this and blah, blah, blah. I mean, 5-10 years ago, like I'd have been stuck. It probably would have ruined my day. I show up to this house. It's not in the best shape of any houses I've ever been. I prejudged a little bit, but I realigned. I did what I'm going to be teaching you, really raised my vibration and went in there, and I was detached from the outcome. I didn't need them to do anything. I was there to give. I was there to share. I was there to align with the possibility of helping them with what makes sense with them. And they moved forward. They shocked me in so many different ways. I had this, we all do, and I have to check ourselves. I had this precondition on what their credit might be, how much money they had. And I was so wrong with all of that. But because my vibration and my frequency was a place of openness, of allowing, from service and from love, then that was congruent with them and what they were looking for. And that's just, I'm going to be sharing stories, but that's a quick example of what I'm talking about. So stop worrying about manifesting. Stop worrying about goal setting. Is there anything wrong with either of those two things? I encourage them, but we need to do it from a different perspective, a different perception, from a different angle, that it's coming from within here and aligning rather than I'm chasing, I'm getting, I'm trying to obtain, I'm trying to achieve this, that it's already in this parallel reality. It's already in this moment, and you have to align with that frequency. So just some hints on what that looks like and to go from here. If you feel good in the moment, you're resonating at a good vibration. Now, taking it a step further, let's say you want to align with the relationship you've ever, might be a friend, might be a partner, you maybe not be married and you're, wife or husband. What kind of person would you want to attract? And you're going to need to be on that wavelength, to be in that vibration that that kind of person would also want to be with you so that it feels congruent, it feels coherent, that it feels right. And if they're extremely positive and you want to be around positive and you're an extremely negative person, probably not going to work great. If you would like to have somebody who has, money and abundance and like likes to travel, but you're like, "Oh, none of those things are possible. And this is why it doesn't happen for me." And you have these stories that come out in your negative energy and just like, yeah, like that's not the kind of person I want to be around. That's not going to work. And I could use that for so many different examples. So for right now, I would encourage you as often as you can each day to take some deep breaths, to listen to some music you like. If something happens that you don't like, how can you raise your vibration a little bit? How can you get back to center? And what we're going to do on this channel is we're going to slowly raise your set point from here to here, and you're just operating at this normal frequency. And the higher that frequency is, the more your mind is just open to that. There doesn't need to be this perception of time between it. It's this knowing that you'll operate from, that it's happening. It's happened. And you get to be the experiencer of that. You get to be the allower of that. You get to be the quote term manifester of that. And we all are. That's what we're doing. We're creating the reality that we think we're experiencing. Your life is in alignment with where you are right now. If there's aspects of your life that you like, bravo, you're in alignment with that. If there's aspects not, you're out of alignment with that. And you can keep putting the goals and manifesting these certain things that like, once I have that, then I'll feel better. But it's always going to be this chasing. You're not going to have up-leveled your frequency to operate from that, to consistently be there. It's going to be this wavy, like peaks and valleys, and I'm happy one day, I'm sad the next day. We want you to have bliss, extreme peace, extreme love, extreme knowing, extreme faith. You're not operating from fear. And then the dream business, the unbelievable relationships, the more fun than you could ever imagine, abundance beyond your wildest dreams. All these things become possible when then you align your thoughts with that. And I hope this is landing. And this is just the beginning. I have so many things to go through with you. I have so many stories, so many things I've learned, so many teachings that are going to help you. This is just the beginning. Highly invite you to subscribe, to hit that, that bell and get my future videos. Share this with other people. Find a buddy to kind of go through this with you. Ask me questions in the comments. Share, where are you on your journey of remembering who you really are, understanding what truth is? Where are you falling short? Where do you put it out there? Like even just in the comments, like that can be a way of being honest with yourself. When you share, it gives other people permission and courage to share too. This will be a community. We'll be growing together. I don't have it all figured out. I'm not a guru. I am you. You are me. We get to do this together. And I feel called to share what I've learned, what I'm learning, what I'm remembering, what I'm growing into, what I'm aligning with. We get to do this together, my friend. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. This was just the understanding of what alignment can look like, what hasn't been working, and then just a few things you can do to feel better in that moment. That's a huge part of it. It's not chase and then feel good. It's feel good and allow all those things that are ready for you right now to happen. Remember that. Okay. Much love, my friend. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.